Hello, Greek students, and welcome to our class. If we have not met each other yet, my name is Dr. Elder. I'm very excited for you to start on this wonderful journey of learning Greek. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to walk you through some of the important elements of the syllabus. If you have not already read the syllabus closely, I ask you after this video is over to read the syllabus very attentively. Not only have I put a lot of time and effort into this syllabus, but I make a number of important pedagogical decisions in there that I think you need to know about. These things are going to directly affect you. So knowing the sort of ins and outs of the syllabus is going to prove to be helpful for your success in this course. The other thing we're going to do in this class is look at the course Moodle page, and I'm going to show you where to find some things on it, those important elements that you'll be doing week in and week out throughout the entirety of the semester. So let's start out with the syllabus. Here it is. We're going to go through it page by page. I'm just going to give you some highlights. I'm not going to go through all of the information, just the stuff that I really want you to know. Here we have my contact information. The best way to contact me is always via email. I make it policy to try and get back to student emails within one workday. Over the weekend, I may or may not get back to you within one workday. You may have to wait till the weekend is over, but that's my policy. Send me an email. That's the best way to get in contact with me. Our next page here, we have the things that this course is going to do. So oftentimes, it's really easy for us to just breeze over course outcomes and curricular objectives. But these are the things that if you succeed in this course, when we come to the end of the semester, you should be able to do these things. So the first one is to be able to type in Greek Unicode. We're going to start learning to type in Greek from day one of this class. And then by the end of the class, you'll be able to translate the New Testament, especially passages that are of easy to moderate difficulty. Something like a passage from the Gospel of Mark, you should be able to pick up and sight read, as objective number 3 says, but also translate thoroughly, being able to note different decisions that you have made in your translation. You'll also have memorized vocabulary of Greek words occurring 50 times or more. And finally, you'll be able to parse and recognize the important information about different Greek verbs and nouns. That's going to be a very big part of our class, is parsing. And I'm going to ask you very intentionally throughout the semester to be able to name the information about a given Greek word. Our next page here is our required text. If you've gotten to this point in the semester and the course is already opened, you probably already have these. Our grammar for this class is David Allen Black's Learn to Read New Testament Greek. I also ask that you buy a Greek New Testament. Here I say the UBS 5th Revised Reader's Edition. The Reader's Edition is going to give you vocabulary help at the bottom of it for words that do not occur more than 50 times in the Greek New Testament. So the vocabulary that you do not get help for in this version of the Greek New Testament is going to be the vocabulary that you learn for this class, hearkening back to those objectives that we looked on the last page of the syllabus. And then the other two aren't strictly speaking text, which is why I have text in scare quotes at the top there. One is Brainscape, which is a smart flashcard program that is free. You'll have to sign up for it, but I will create vocabulary flashcards for you for this class. And there's a number of reasons I do that. I detail those reasons in the syllabus. You can pause and read that if you want to, or take a look at it when you go back and read the syllabus. The other thing I ask you to buy is a dry erase board for this class. This is going to be really, really helpful, not only for learning how to write New Testament Greek, but also for writing out paradigms. So when you're memorizing the different forms of verbs and nouns, if you can both hear them, say them, and write them, you're going to have a lot better time and a lot more success memorizing them. So this is the reason that I ask you to buy a dry erase board. A little simple, cheap one from Target or the grocery store will work just fine. Next, I have some strongly recommended texts. I will make a comment about a couple of these here. The first set right here is Greek English lexicons. I would advise you to buy one of these two. It won't be imperative for your success in this class, but it is a lot easier than flipping back and forth in your Greek grammar to look up words if you have a standalone dictionary. And this is what a Greek lexicon is, a dictionary. So I advise either Thayer's or Liddell Scott's and you can read about the differences between the two online. The next one is Kyle Greenwood's Dictionary of English Grammar for Students of Biblical Languages. One of the things you'll hear me say repeatedly in this class is that learning a foreign language helps you learn your own native tongue better. So by learning Greek, you're going to know English grammar better. And what this resource does is sort of explains English and Greek and Hebrew grammar in a very simplistic way that's very easy to understand. And the last item here is another lexicon. This is the sort of gold standard lexicon for New Testament Greek. It's very, very expensive. It's one to be on the lookout for if you frequent used bookstores, but it's an excellent, excellent lexicon. It's going to be the most exhaustive dictionary you can find for New Testament Greek words. It's one you're probably going to want to get eventually for your ministry or for your study. But it's, again, not strictly necessary for this class in particular. Next, and perhaps of best interest or most interest to you, is grading in this class. So this is the place in the syllabus that I would probably advise you to read the most carefully, insofar as your grade in the class depends on it. But what I want to note here is that this class does not use a standardized grading system that's based on percentages. That is, we're not going to take a bunch of quizzes, a bunch of exams, and aggregate all of the points or score you get on those to a final score. Rather, this class uses what is called specifications grading. In the specifications grading system, you complete a certain amount of items on a sort of pass-fail basis. And the number of items you complete determines your final grade. So for this class, those items are divided into 3 categories. Quizzes, there's going to be the possibility to do 2 quizzes each week, 1 grammar, 1 vocabulary. There's going to be the possibility for 2 homework assignments each week. And there's going to be 3 possible exams throughout the course of the semester. For quizzes and exams, you need to pass those at 80% for it to count to the final specifications for the class, so your final grade for the class. And you can see here the chart I give you of what you need to complete for each category to get a respective grade. So for example, if you want to get an A, you need to complete 24 of the 26 quizzes at a 80% level or above. The homework, you have to do 24 of 26. And the exams, you have to do all 3 at 80% or above. You also notice down here, I give you some grace tokens. These count for different things. You get 5 of them for the class, and there will be opportunities to earn more throughout the course of the semester. So this is a way to sort of give you a safety net as far as the specifications grading goes. Because everything is graded on this sort of pass-fail basis, there's going to be a whole lot of grace in this class, and these grace tokens are sort of a tangible expression of that. And here is our course schedule. I suggest that you spend about 10 hours per week on this class. That may sound like a lot, but if you break it up into smaller chunks a day, it's really not that difficult to get to that 10-hour-a-week threshold. And I've sort of given the idea that learning languages work best in small little chunks, in daily chunks. I've given you a recommended way to approach the different parts of this course, when to study things, how to study things, and how long to study each one of these things. Then we go through our different weeks in the class here, and then some course policies and fine print. My anti-cheating policy, I don't anticipate we'll have any issues with cheating, but please don't do it. I ask that you not access course materials while you're taking quizzes and exams. And at the beginning of every quiz and exam, I'm going to have you answer a question saying, I'm not doing this during this quiz or exam. And the purpose of that is not to police you. I try and get all the police language sort of out of the syllabus because I don't like that language. Rather, I ask you not to look at materials while you complete these, because neuroscience shows us that when we take guesses, when we make a stab at something, even if we don't know it, and we go back and correct our answer, we're much more likely to remember it. That's why I give you second chances on quizzes and second chances on exams with grace tokens. So I ask you not to access course materials during these things, to support your learning, not simply to police you. Automatic graded errors. So a lot of the things in this class are going to be graded automatically, especially the quizzes. And technology is, of course, not perfect. It's far from it. And so here I detail if there are any issues with technology and you feel like you have been unfairly graded or something has been marked wrong that maybe should have been right, you should email me about that. And don't hesitate to do it. I'm happy to fix your grade if it deserves to be fixed. My teaching philosophy I give you here, and my digital office hours. Those are on Mondays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Those are the times I'm best available for synchronous meetings. You'll also notice I say in here that if you cannot attend one of the class synchronous meetings that would get you credit for your homework assignment or correcting your homework assignment, you can come into my digital office hours and we can do your homework, work on your homework during that space, and that can give you the same credit as if you attended a synchronous class meeting. I give you some frequently asked questions here: who I am, how much time you should spend on the class, what these office hours are, what I want you to call me. I prefer Dr. Elder or Professor Elder, and then some information about the exams and how you can best learn Greek. Once again, short chunks. If I could emphasize anything about going into this class and how you should approach it, think about it about learning this language in short daily chunks of approximately 30 minutes to 2 hours a day. The next thing we're going to do here is walk through the course page. Here I have it pulled up, and I'm going to show you where the different items are that are going to be important for you for your success in this class. So you see here the sort of top of the page before our week 1, and I give you a number of different things here. You can click on the link to email me. You can click on this link to enter into my Zoom office hours on Mondays and Thursdays. And I've also linked the BrainScope course vocabulary flashcards at the top of this page as well. So for every lesson, I'm going to have the vocabulary cards on there for you so that you can utilize this free resource. And the reason that I asked you to do these digital flashcards is because they work on algorithms in such a way to promote your learning, so that the items that you know well are going to not show up as often as the new vocabulary items or the items that you've been struggling with. So this is meant to sort of help you make the most of your time in studying vocabulary and also to get things to stick into your brain a little bit better. I've given you the syllabus at the top of the course page here. And then let's look at a given week. So here's our first week of the class. At the top of every week, I'll have a link to a video that tells you what we're going to be doing that week, what the learning objectives are, and sort of how we're going to go about accomplishing those things. For this week, we have getting Greek Unicode onto your computer and learning how to type in Greek Unicode as one of the most important things. That's why this is at the top. Generally, I try and structure the week so that you start at the top and you move downwards. So here you'll see the grammar lessons. I normally suggest that you read the grammar lessons before you watch any videos and before you do any work of the class. The first thing you should go to for any given week is Black's grammar. And then after that, we'll have lecture videos. My goal is to always keep these videos to less than 10 minutes. Obviously, this video has already run over 10 minutes, but as a general rule, I think shorter is better. And so these videos are sort of highlights about the readings from the grammar lessons and different ways of sort of engaging the material. Within these videos, I'll also often ask you to do what are called lecture pauses. And usually these lecture pauses will involve you writing things down on your dry erase board. This gets you into the mode of engaging Greek in different ways, by hearing it, by speaking it, and by writing it. So anytime you go to watch the videos for this class, I recommend that you have your dry erase board handy. Then every week I'll also include a link to the flashcard so you can just click and go there right away. Remove as much friction as possible to get to this vocabulary flashcard site. And then we have the sort of grade items for each week are always going to be at the bottom of the week. First is the homework, homework 1 and homework 2. What you'll find for the homework in this class is that it's usually in the form of a forum or in the form of an assignment. If it's in the form of a forum, this is a way for us to sort of learn together. Forums are going to be ways for you to communicate with other peers in your class and to share your work with them. Other times, the homework will be in assignment format, as homework number 2 is for this first week. And these assignment format homeworks are more individualized, wherein you are not necessarily thinking about sharing your work with others, but you're doing your work sort of more introspectively. And a lot of times, this is the kind of work that you will be self-correcting throughout the semester. And then under the homework will always be the 2 quizzes for the week, 1 vocabulary quiz and 1 grammar quiz. In this first week, the vocabulary and grammar quizzes are a little bit different than they are in other weeks. But normally the vocabulary and grammar quizzes will combine the 2 lessons for the week into 1 single quiz. So that, for example, in week 2, you will have lesson 3 and lesson 4's vocabulary in a single quiz, and you'll have lesson 3 and lesson 4's grammar and the things that you need to memorize as far as paradigms also combined into 1 quiz. That is all I have for you as far as introduction to the course goes. If you have any questions, you can either send it to me via email or you can drop it into the questions and curiosities forums because another student might have the same question that you do. I always attempt to answer those questions within a day, just as I attempt to answer emails within a day. But this also gives the opportunity for other students to answer a question that you might have more quickly than I can get to it. So I will see some of you synchronously throughout this semester, and the rest of you I will see in the online space of our class.